Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be doing a reacts video for Nick's thoughts on FIFA 23. The reason why it's good to get his thoughts is because he does stream the game regularly, so he's going to be giving a perspective of every single variable that has to do with FIFA. Now, as you guys know, we recently did the rants video for why I don't like the gameplay game modes in FIFA, because obviously the incentive to be a gameplay person is not really there, right? With division rivals only being 8 wins for the elite division, and then like you basically play that mode for no reason, it's just a horrible balance to work with, right? So that's my opinion. I don't stream the game because I see these things happening, right? And I also don't stream the game because there's no mode where once I'm done doing all that sweaty stuff, I can go try out different formations, different tactics, different players in a tournament mode or in divisions, right? Like I mentioned it in the rants video. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to do so, right? But like I said, I wanted to hear Nick's thoughts on the game because he gives thoughts in regards to like not just gameplay stuff, not just game mode stuff. Like he talks about the transfer market, promos, all that kind of stuff. No, I did not know that this video existed. Guys, my YouTube homepage, there's an option that actually says don't recommend channel. And I do that for every single FIFA content creator because when I'm, chilling, getting something to eat, all that kind of stuff, I want to watch anything but FIFA stuff, right? The only time that I get FIFA content is if people message me on Instagram or Twitter to do a review for a formation or a tactic and then basically go from there, right? But yeah, it was funny because when I posted the rants video for the gameplay game modes video, I think an hour before or an hour after, something like that, he posted this one, right? So people messaged me on Twitter to, give my thoughts on whatever his opinion on for this, right? So yeah, let's just go ahead and watch it and see what he has to say.
Long time, just really hadn't had the day to do it, and so today is really perfect. We're gonna be doing a discussion video talking about FIFA 23 and just my thoughts. I think it's a good time to do it as well because we're kind of at that like 6 week mark where, I think with the first 2 weeks of FIFA, you always have this period where you're like, oh, it's a new FIFA, I'm in love with this game, it's so fun.
2 weeks into the game, if you've been familiar with how these gameplay game modes work, you know where it's headed. That's why I didn't stream this year that much, guys. I streamed for I think a day or two, and I was like, I already know where it's headed again.
And it's something new to grind. That literally happens every single year. I mean, believe it or not, like that's happened even in the worst FIFAs ever.
Why do you like the game in the beginning, guys? Because you can grind to the elite division. The elite division. Once you hit the elite division, once you get your 8 wins, it no longer feels fun anymore because there's no incentive anymore. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
19, it's always like that in the beginning. But then when we get towards a couple weekend leagues in, that's when you really figure out how's the game, how's your experience, and really you get to learn a lot. So we're going to be talking in this video really my thoughts on this game, between everything and anything. So promos, market, gameplay. It's going to be just kind of like a discussion video, so take it how it is. It's not going to be anything like crazy. I've got some organizational stuff that I've planned out, to kind of go over segments in this video so I can keep myself just at least like in the focus of something going on here that's making sense to you guys. So yeah, if you enjoy it, drop a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and just let me know how you guys feel in the comments down below. How are you guys enjoying this game? We're gonna maybe compare it to some other FIFAs. We'll talk about some things that we like and don't like, and speak upon that a little bit. But yeah, first of all, I think the first thing I want to kind of get into, promos, right? The promos so far have been
They haven't been bad. I don't mind them so far. You guys have to understand that they're not going to do crazy promos, like crazy cards in the beginning of the year. Ones to watch, Road to the Knockouts, Rule Breakers, they've all been interesting in their own ways, right? Some cards are fodder, don't get me wrong, but they've been okay. The price hasn't been too bad. It's been all right.
decent, I think, right? We've had rule breakers. Something that I've really appreciated this year with FIFA 23 is that EA have not been just fully selling out and doing like 2 week promos. They've been doing it when it makes sense. So like, Ones to Watch only had 1 week, and I actually think Ones to Watch this year was really underrated. They, yes, Ones to Watch has a lot to do with.
It's good because they made really good changes to it.
Transfers and that's really the premise of the promo, because you got to have players that are moving to clubs. So we got a great window, but I think EA did really well here with kind of these upgrades with giving them a an upgrade where they would get one if their team performed well. I love that in the league, and then if their nation, the World Cup, does well, I think that's also got a lot of these cards exciting. I feel like the Rule Breakers promo was very, very decent. I mean, the problem with the promos this year, a little bit in my opinion, has been when you take a look at Rule Breakers, right? I think we have a lot of cards that are either like 10K and don't sell, or we've got a lot of cards that are like Ronaldo, in that really top tier. So it's either like fodder or it's a bust. We don't have too many cards in between. But that was a promo that really made sense to have for like a 2-week promo. I love the Road to the Knockouts. I think this promo absolutely smashed it. All these cards got, definitely a couple upgrades, which was really nice to have. Some only got +1, some got +2s. But these cards were really nice. So I think the promos overall, like so far, have been pretty successful. It was a little
Yeah, I haven't minded them that much, to be honest.
disappointing. I'd say like I would give it such a high rating. I think the one thing that was just a bit disappointing was the fact that EA didn't do a team of the group stage last
100%. 100% official stats for new cards that are probably not going to get any promo cards in the future. Like, I don't know if they'll do a Future Stars Diogo Costa. Diogo Costa and Taremi would have 100% have gotten in that team, and they didn't get cards. So irritating, man. I would have had 2 FC Porto players. So bad that they didn't do that promo, because we're not guaranteed. Because it's basically Diogo Costa and Antonio Silva from Benfica, right? Because Benfica, the Antonio Silva guy is like 18, 19, so he should get a card, right? And hopefully they make him lengthy, because lengthy center backs are super important. But yeah, no, I was really, really disappointed by that. That should have definitely been a promo this week, 100%.
Friday. I know that EA kind of wanted to do this whole warm-up promo this week. Like, I do understand their motivation to get people excited for this upcoming week, but I was really confused why they did not do a team of the group stage last Friday. Maybe they wanted to kind of have some sort of market control going on here. But yeah, even out of position was not my favorite promo. It was a promo that I think is unique.
It was okay. There are some cards they released that are fodder, and we know that they're fodder. You know what I'm saying? It was okay,
which I can always respect. Sometimes the game we play every year, FIFA.
Theo Hernandez is weird. That makes no sense to me. Reece James, interesting. There's a few interesting ones.
Feels very copy and paste, and I think there was definitely a uniqueness with this promo. Had some cards that we just never would expect. Now Ansu Fati is probably not the best example.
Yeah, because he's overpriced like crazy.
Of a card, that you wouldn't expect. But between we had this.
Yeah, like if you actually look at this team, attacking oriented center mid and Fred, Perisic is really good, very versatile card. Salah's nice, but very expensive, obviously. No, Cancelo as a center mid's definitely a W. Dumfries, Fofana, good cards. Mazraoui, more for sentimental, I would say. Maybe if you use him as the attacking oriented center mid, it could be okay. And then on the bench, you could see Vasquez is decent, Berardi's sick. Traore for 23k. Like they did add a few decent cards for sure, but the game mode balance is horrible for you to be able to use these different cards constantly. Some of them are very meta though, like Dumfries is sick, Fofana's sick,
like a 6'8" striker. I know he's 13k. Reece James on the wing.
Torre's cool.
Fofana as a center back. Center mid Cancelo. So I think there was some nice cards in this team.
Oh, okay.
Some obviously a little bit more predictable, like a central Salah, but some cards that I thought were really good. So I think this promo had a unique part. It wasn't a crazy promo. And then via SBCs, I actually think EA have been doing all right with SBCs as well. It's been really hard to kind of tell a lot of people to do a lot of the player SBCs just because of the way the market is. So we'll talk about the market next before we talk about gameplay and some other things. So yeah, leading to the market. I mean, this year's market has been kind of brutal. I would say this though about the market. We kind of asked for this market because for years, a lot of people sat there and complained about pack weight. And pack weight used to be significantly worse on FIFA. It was. And now that it's better, you look at cards on the market and you've got these.
I'm going to say this opinion from a person who's not a transfer market person, okay? I don't really know why people complain about cards being cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Like, people say, oh, the game's dying because cards are cheaper. That logic doesn't make sense to me. Cards being more attainable and for you to use different types of teams is a good thing, is it not? That confuses me a little bit. Especially with the way that, like, listen, I hate FUT Champs as a game because of the quantity amount stuff, right? But they did do good changes to FUT Champs that actually makes it a game mode that I don't mind as much. Like, if they were to just add one more mode and we have Division Rivals and FUT Champs, I think the game would have a good balance, to be honest with you. Because, dude, in FUT Champs, that week that Dembele was an inform card, even if he wasn't an inform card, I still made, like, 200k, 250k just from the rewards, you know, just depending on the fodder and like how much cards sell for that time period, right? But Dembele, you know, was 300k, so we made like maybe 300, 400, you know, depending. And 300, 400, you could do a lot with 300, 400, you know. People don't because they still want to go for full meta cards, but if you're like me, I get cards that are meta enough and you could build different types of squads. So I don't mind it as much, you know, the market being lower. But that's like me saying it from a perspective of not being a market guy, right? So
players that are way more affordable, and the pack odds are just way better, right? I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago, EA said, we're going to make pack way better. We're going to show you exactly what it is too. They made fodder way more packable. It's why you see so many just general fodder walkouts that you would
I lost like 80k in Ronaldo. I think I bought him for like 400.
never see before. And Cristiano Ronaldo's gold card, 330k on the market,
Yeah.
right? Messi's gold card. How much is Messi's gold card? He was like
I think he
160
was like
this morning. So market rose a little
maybe?
bit. He's up to what price? 178.
Yeah.
So there also wasn't content today. I think a lot of people bought some teams because there's nothing to really do, right? And that makes sense, right? If there's no content on a Monday, people will go ahead and buy a team. So Messi's 180. Really, the only super expensive player is Mbappe, and Mbappe is 1.
For obvious reasons, right?
1.5, something like that. So he's 1.3. He was 1.2 this morning. This market crash is doing my head in right now. He's at like 127. So, you know, he's up like 30k from yesterday's panic or even this morning. So he's the most expensive player. But other than that, a lot of players in the market packable. I think EA has been doing a better job this year. I think EA a lot of the time last year was releasing a lot of like tradable packs 24/7 and it was just killing the market. I think EA have been doing a better job with that. There's some things they can't prevent, like when the World Cup mode is being announced, there's obviously going to be a bit of a market crash. So that's kind of what's happened. Like all that stuff is just natural. I don't think EA can really control that. I think it's been a little bit harder to make coins this year just because of the nature of the market. But as I said, I feel like as a community, we've really asked for this. I think a lot of people want a better pack weight. And you know, they kind of deliver with that, and that's why the market is kind of going down a lot because stuff is just really packable. That's why you buy a promo card and it's down the next week because it has a lot of supply and people lose interest and then go to the next team. All right, so that's that. Market for me, not great, right? I have liked the promo so far. The next thing I want to talk about that I think is like really important and a point to mention that I think many of you guys would agree with is the team of the week, man. I have a really big problem with the team of the week, and so my problem with it is that it's not necessarily bad, right? It could be better, right? This week was like a really bad week, but let's look at like Team of the Week 1, for example, right? So my issue is that, yes,
Thank you for making Palinga.
I think Foot Champs rewards as a whole are really rewarding. I think it's really nice to play Foot
True.
Champs, and I think the effort you put in this year compared to previous years, you actually hardly are playing this year, you know, compared to other years. I'm even running 2 accounts this year because I run out of stuff to do. But
Keywords. A run out of stuff to do.
my flaw with it is that I think that for a certain rank, whether it's like rank 4 or rank 3, EA needs to put in a rating guarantee into the tradable Team of the Week packs or something like that. And
Yeah.
here's why. A lot of the time, the Reds are so bad this year because there's no guarantee. Now, yes, it's 1 of 5, but the weight is so bad on some of the top tier players. You'll never see a red Kevin De Bruyne. You'll never see a red Son. I don't even know if I've played against one of those players.
I don't think that was possible yet. I don't think the Team of the Week 1 was... No. Yeah, no reds for that one. Or else I would have tried to get... I would have... That Palinga card? Oh, he could be 12k, couldn't care less. I'm trying to get that red. I will literally sacrifice any card here except for Son. I mean, you still got to go for Son. Son's sick. And De Bruyne. And Vasquez. You got to go for those 3. But everybody else, I'm going for him.
In this game, and that's how rare they are. And I think that players that get a higher rank should be rewarded with at least maybe one of the picks or one of the packs has like a rating guarantee that the players... So, for example, you get 16 wins in Weekend League. Right now, your 3-player pack can have 379 rated players. So I think what EA really need to focus on is like maybe at least one of those or 2 of those packs have all 81 minimum players. Now, yes, you'll probably still pack, for example, from Team of the Week 1, Savernier, Pablo Maffeo and Paulinho, but at least it gives you like...
Oh, disrespect my boy. He's the best.
That elimination feeling where you at least got rid of like 5 informs in the Team of the Week. I think that would be a huge improvement. And I don't know why EA still haven't changed that over the years. I was speaking to 2 years ago, Foot Economist, who's like one of the head content guys at EA, and he had said that something that they were going to really start doing soon was like working in a rating guarantee potentially into some of these Team of the Week packs. and like Foot Champs rewards, where they were going to start doing that. And I've been surprised that they haven't been doing that. Now they've done that with packs. We didn't really have that on packs, I think, until like FIFA 21 necessarily. It could have been 22. So they started putting in, like, for example, when you have, you know, a rare Electrum pack, you've now got this like rating guarantee, and we actually did not have that.
I didn't know that
Before. So that has been something that's been added. But I would like to see EA kind of add this, you know, rating guarantee feature in to the premium Team of the Week pack. Because as I said, right now when you open this, you just get 3 Team of the Week players, and that's it. So it'd be really nice if EA could do that. I think it would be a big change for Foot Champs, and I think it would just get a lot more people to play. Regarding Foot Champs, I think the mode right now is structured fine. I think that there's a nice balance because, you know,
literally the best gameplay game mode, and it's the one I hate the most, but it is the best one now.
Back when
because the rewards, like, dude, honestly, I'm saying 11 wins, but you can get lower and still get decent rewards. I've seen people get like 9 wins, 8 wins, and still get better rewards than someone that gets 18. Like, which honestly, I'm not completely against. Like, the higher rewards is just to get more coins. It's not necessarily a guarantee of better reds, because the reds are the same, you know. But yeah, I don't mind it. The matchmaking in Foot Champs, I wish I had a mode like that I can play consistently. Like, I was thinking about this weekend and doing like different types of content, and I went to my review account to do a formation video, and I went into Foot Champs, and I'm like, because I didn't play last week and I was already qualified, I was like, oh, that sucks. You know, it would have been nice to just, you know, have an open matchmaking of competent players and trying out different things, which is why I made that gameplay game mode rants video.
It was 30 games. I actually think you are potentially getting a couple more rewards right now. The qualifier rewards are very good. You can make, if you get like 8-2 or 9-1, 10-0, or even, you know,
the qualify. I like that one too. The qualifying is good. I've gotten good stuff from qualifying too.
General qualification. You do get a couple nice packs, even for
I agree.
You know, some of the lower ranks. You're actually, you know, rank 5. You're getting 225k packs. These are not bad, right? So it's not terrible. This has been nice. And then obviously, as I said, for the effort of playing champs, you know, you could just get a couple wins and you're getting these packs. So the champs is very casual friendly right now. And I think there's been a huge improvement with that from EA. So shout out to them. I'd like them to add a rating guarantee. We have to talk about rivals next. Now, I don't have a problem with any of the rivals rewards at all. I don't think any of them are bad. I have a problem with them in Elite Division, and here's why. You get to the Elite Division in FIFA, and it's very sweaty. At this time of the year, it's very hard. It's a grind. Now the way that EA is doing their qualifying system for the professional scene, you have to have a certain skill rating in your region, right? What I think EA need to do, instead of just doing, you know, let's say for me, I get 8 wins this week, all right? 1 of 5 Foot Champs.
I've never seen this before. That's not bad for 8 wins. If you have to only get, not only because it's sweaty in this, but if you get 8 wins and that's your rewards, I don't mind that.
Team of League 1 to current.
The problem is that once you get the 8 wins, there's nothing to do after that, because there's no point of you sweating out more games for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Which is why, you know, tournament mode, divisions, you know, something for you to play on the side, where you don't have to use full meta sweat players, you know?
100k pack, 50k. I don't think it should be limited at 8 wins. I think you should be able to grind as much as possible. Maybe every 8 wins, maybe that's what it is. Maybe every 8 wins, you know, you can get 1 set of these. You know, that's one option.
It's a good idea. I just don't think they would ever add that. You know what I'm saying? I know what he's saying, because what it is like it's like I mentioned in that video, guys, right? Division rivals in the Elite Division, this is the only game mode that you have to play with your cards regularly while earning rewards, right? So once you get the 8 wins, it's pointless to play. So what he's saying is, like, once you get your 8 wins, you can kind of carry over and get more wins to get more rewards, right? So what it would do is that it would give incentive to the player to actually play Division Rivals, because I'll tell you what happens right now, right? There is a bunch of people that do not play Division Rivals normally because they're actually scared of playing it, okay? I know this because I have a couple of friends in real life that literally don't play Division Rivals because they don't want to go higher, right? And whether they want to go higher or not, they just don't even play during the weekdays. They just qualify for Foot Champs and they only play on the weekends, right? Which is a horrible balance to have in a video game. You should want to play every single game or every single day and just grind as a gameplay person. So I understand what he's asking for. I just don't think they would ever implement that. That's why when I made that video, I kept mentioning how, you know, even if you divide the past rewards by 4 or even 3, right? It would still be a mode that people would play where they grind rewards and grind the gameplay to get the rewards, right? I don't know if they would ever do this for division rivals. Honestly, Elite Division would be not as bad if I was consistently getting rewards for it, but the same problem would exist. You're getting the rewards for what? To get more meta cards, right? To get more full meta cards. You still need that other mode on the side to play, to use this Stawani card, you know, and these types of dudes. You can definitely use them in this division, absolutely, but you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage for what? You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, there was a comment section that was perfect. Comments in the comment section for that rant video that was perfect. It was really cool to be able to win Division 1 with an MLS team because the matchmaking was more open and an MLS team at some point becomes very competent. For instance, this year, you can literally have 7 players in your starting 11 of competent MLS players. And in the future, with 2 or 3 more promos, maybe you'll have even 1 or 2 more, right? And it'd be sick to have a mode where you can play with those cards. Sure, can you do them in the Elite Division? You can, but people only go for full meta here, which again is not a problem. It's the most competitive mode. Zero issue by me. But this is what happens, right? Is when you get rewards to only get more and more full meta cards, it gets boring, you know?
Just throwing out options for, I'm speaking for the people that are grinding in Elite Division.
I don't know about you guys, but my motivation to play FIFA is when they give me certain Portuguese cards. Them not adding to me to the group stage for me to get someone like Taremi and someone like Diogo Costa who can be usable in the game, especially if they give Taremi a lengthy, right? It kills your motivation, you know, like to only go for full meta. Like I couldn't care less. I'm not a pro player. I'm not a competitive player. I couldn't care less about that stuff. My experience of playing FIFA is to do different stuff constantly.
Right? So imagine you get 24 wins in the week, you'd get 600 KFAX untradeable, but it would give you the incentive to grind.
They wouldn't. I don't think they would ever do this. I really don't.
You know, maybe your 3 reds aren't good, but it would still just put that factor in that thought in your mind, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go crazy this week. I'm gonna get 4 sets of these rewards and really try to level up my account. I would love to see that.
He's right though. He's thinking like a gamer, like a gameplay incentive. 100%. I get it.
Yeah, and I don't see the problem with that. I really just don't see the issue with that. What I also think needs to be taken into consideration, you've either got to do something like that where you're rewarding winning in such a division, because the problem is it's so sweaty in this division. Wins feel like, you're putting it all out there.
Yeah, but sacrificing the experience for the wins constantly, not fun. I'm sorry.
You're going ham to get those wins. So my other theory, or I guess alternative thought.
For a little bit, sure. For 25, 30% of the time, sure. All the time, no.
They could add in is that they could add in something with skill rating. So for me, like I grind skill rating because I have an ego and I'm a sweat and I have problems, right? But they should be putting in something where like, okay, if I get to 600 skill rating, I get a certain pack every week. Or if I gain, let's say, for example, there's a
more incentive. That's not bad. That's not a bad suggestion, actually.
There's a meter of how much
you'd force people to play division rivals more too.
Skill rating you gain in a week. So if I gain 50 skill rating in 1 week, I get 200 K-Packs. If I gain 100 skill rating, I get 4. If I gain 500 skill rating in 1 week, I get 1 base icon pack. Because that's obviously an unthinkable amount. Nobody's going to go from 524 to 1,000 unless they're literally playing the game. A ridiculous amount. They'd have to like sleep on their desk and then continue playing it. So that would be something I think would be really cool. And I'd like to hopefully...
You would think it'd make it more sweaty, but it wouldn't, because the matchmaking just works Elite Division. It would actually get more people to play, so your matchmaking would actually be in turn more open. People don't understand this, but that's literally what would happen.
This video is getting to some guys at EA, and they can hear that, because I think that's an...
I just don't think they're going to do any of that. I don't even think it's like a thing they would do in the future. I think that's like way too much that they would be giving. Like in their eyes, I don't think so, man.
Awesome idea with the Elite Division. I think they need to do something where they're giving people rewards for getting that higher skill rating. Can't just be for a pro qualifier. Not everybody wants to play a pro qualifier. But,
exactly.
And this would be something that I'd like to see refresh every week. And I know that right now the issue we have is that a lot of the milestones, once you hit them, they don't refresh, right? Because you already hit them. That's the issue. Some of them refresh every season, but the overall ones don't really refresh. So a way that they could really counter this is that you've got these objectives of how much skill rating you're gaining in a week, right? That could be a thing, right? So maybe that's something. So I'd like to see that out of the Elite Division. Let's talk about gameplay, guys. So, for me this year, before we go there, I've got so many thoughts. I would say the one thing going back about the market is that I think that, you could get one of the craziest teams in foot this year. And I think we also just kind of have to look at that, because right now you can make such a meta team and like kind of compete.
I like this team. This is nice. This is meta, but still, you could do well with this. As a content creator, you always have to use different types of squads. We can't use the same team all the time. So people who are rats that go for stream sniping and they just use their full meta squads, you're a rat. But anyways, this is nice. I like this. Yeah, that's nice. You got meta in there, but it's different as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, tried a different card, Bentoncourt with the inform card, Sterling with the upgrade. Like that I like that in FIFA, you know? A meta team though, still meta, that could do well.
Now, yes, the top tier pay to win players, are better, but right now you can make such a good team. Whereas in the past FIFAs, you probably couldn't do this. For this
That's literally what I use.
price, like Varane and Kimpembe combined are 12K. You wouldn't see that in other FIFA.
12K. Oh, this is how you know I don't know the market. 12K. Wow.
So that's just kind of, for me, just my experience with the Elite Division. Even, my team is very first owner oriented, but you can get Gold Sun right now for 35K. I mean, you wouldn't see that in another FIFA.
Sun is so good, by the way.
Inform Correa for 60K. So that's been a big positive. But let's talk next, right? Gameplay. Now, I believe I had a lot more fun at the beginning of last year's game. I would say that. But overall, I think this game is a little bit better than last year's game. For me, I don't really like doing the whole, let's talk about the worst FIFAs ever. I think FIFA 19 was one of the best content years, but I think it was the worst.
Nick, I almost had a heart attack. One of the best, and I blanked out.
Gameplay year. I actually think it was more entertaining to watch though as a spectator, as crazy as it was. I still think it's the worst FIFA ever. I think FIFA 21 is the second worst FIFA ever. I hated how all you had to do in the midfield, no football skill. It was basically step overs like crazy until that got patched, and then everybody was croqueta canceling to move around the midfield. And then when you got in the box, all you did was a directional nutmeg to get open and shoot. So that's why that one is up there with FIFA 19 is like my worst FIFA. Now last year, FIFA 22 would be my third worst FIFA ever. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is that it was such a drop back AI oriented meta.
Yeah, it is.
Now the AI is so overpowered again this year. I don't think it's as overpowered
if you choose to play that way again.
Last year though, and I think the drop back was slightly more prevalent last year. They still really haven't fixed the drop back the way it needs to be. There's still times this year where there's like 10 people in the box, and I think we'll really figure out about FIFA 23 as the game goes later in the year. But as of right now, I think this game is slightly better than last year in terms of gameplay. I think the problem is it's very slow and very defensive, which I don't love. And I think it's very oriented on these lengthy players, which, yes, you can argue, Haaland is almost unstoppable in real life. I do hear that argument, but it's a very interesting way because I think this game is rewarding a lot of those lob passes over the top. And I think people are really just focusing on doing that sort of pass.
Yeah, no football brain. Yeah, exactly.
Only. So I would rank this.
That's why I always tell you guys in the tactic videos, your center backs need to be full meta as much as possible. I don't care if they cost 3 million coins each. They have to be full meta.
Gameplay probably ahead of last year's.
Your defense needs to be like... Ugh.
And ahead of a couple of the other.
He's using Koundé and Alaba right now. I'll tell you this right now. If he's up against this Holland and they do that lob pass, they're not good enough against him. There has to be. Go get Lucio if you have to.
Previous FIFA titles, but not by a lot. And I think there's still a lot of improvements that they do need to make. I think they've got to speed up the game speed a little bit. The one thing we can all commend EA.
I can't listen to people saying about the speed. It's inconsistent gameplay, guys. If you guys play in good gameplay, you will not complain about the speed. I'm telling you, man. You wouldn't. Nick plays the game all the time during the daytime. That's where he mostly plays. He is going to experience the worst version of gameplay on a consistent level. If you have ever played the best version of gameplay on this game, right? To say... You cannot generally say speed up the game because it doesn't work that way. It's like people saying this patch made my gameplay slower. It's the same thing. No, guys. Inconsistent gameplay. I want this to... You guys always ignore this. I want this to drill it into your mind, okay? When you play the best version of gameplay, it is fast. It is responsive. I literally have tactic videos of me using Correa and I'm literally reacting at nighttime like, wow, this feels really fast. You know what I'm saying? You can't say make the speed faster because of inconsistent gameplay. Them not fixing it this is void. Saying this is void. It's void.
Yeah, with is that they made a patch right.
I hate that I'm the only passionate one about this because it makes you feel like you're crazy, but I know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? The speed part, you cannot tell them to make a game faster when the game does not only play in one way. You know what I'm saying?
Way for the dribbling because like the first week of the game you literally couldn't dribble with it.
The dribbling was horrible and you guys were protecting. Some of you guys were protecting him, man. It was irritating me. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it's good that some people don't make this game, okay? Because when they did the live tuning update, that's when the game became better. If that live tuning update never happened, oh my goodness.
Anybody. So some people were really complaining about that, and EA just did a great job to, kind of make that a little bit better.
Yes.
I think some of the passing in this game is really tough at times, but I think
the passing is weird. The ones that people want to force, I hate when people want those forced ones to work, but there's some normal ones that's like you're facing the guy, like literally, dude, I was building up the play with my CDM to pass to my center back, and he completely misplaced the pass with no pressure on him, and I conceded from the guy literally coming back from the attack, and he just ran in and scored, I
think EA is kind of going for this realism approach where, they're trying to make sure that you're not just playing all these crazy passes, where you're, in the past FIFAs, you could do these like fadeaway passes. So you can't do those out of the back now, where you're kind of spamming the A button or the X button trying to make quick passes. But while saying that, I still have this problem where like I'm noticing that many people are still just playing these crazy through balls. So we've got to find a little bit more of a balance there with that. Now, servers. This year, guys, the servers I feel like have been worse than last year's, and I want to talk about that. Now, the gameplay a couple hours before content feels good. Couple hours after content feels good.
He plays on a different server than me because it's always horrible during content time. I literally played like on Friday or whatever, like before content time, and like it's horrible. I know that it's weird because he lives in New York, so it makes me I'm really weirded out by this because he gets like 14 13 ping games even though Toronto and New York are right next to are like close to each other. I don't know what server he's connecting to get 14 ping. I don't know. So if he connects to a different one, I have no opinion on this. But the content time thing, no chance. Zero chance, bro. I've had one lucky time where for 1 hour the gameplay was decent. After content time, I was shocked that it was decent, right? And then after that, I was like, no. But before, oh my, it's horrible before. No chance. This Friday I was playing. Oh my, I was trying to do the tactic video for the 4-3-2-1. Oh my. Horrible, man. It was so slow. I even said it in the video. It was so slow. That was before the content time, too.
It's unexcusable that a game that is 7 worse than last year's, and I want to talk about that. Now, the gameplay a couple hours before content feels good. Couple hours after content feels good.
But you see this thing where people say different things about the gameplay. Inconsistent gameplay. It's bad, man. It's a bad problem, guys. How is he saying something different than what I'm experiencing when I play the game? You know what I'm saying?
It is unexcusable that a game that is $70 for a lot of people, $70 to $100, depending if you did the pre-order or not, has this sort of thing, right? Where you can't play around the content release time because of server traffic.
Oh, he's actually saying it now. That's weird.
They need to invest a little bit more money. I know they're adding servers like gameplay.
It's definitely not just servers, though. It's not. It's not. It's in the game code because people need to understand the behavior of your players is different. Do you guys know how back in the day in the older FIFAs, how maybe they had like this momentum thing or whatever the hell it was, right? Not momentum, but like they had these like in-game mechanics that were influencing the way that the cards performed. I think that there's like some sort of like hidden code in that influenced by the servers as well that influences, because like guys, it doesn't make sense that a worse server is gonna make your player on the ball feel different. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like he feels heavier, he feels slower, the whole game feels slower. That's not a server thing, guys. The reason why I know it's not a server thing, I want you guys to understand why it's not just a server thing, okay? In the older FIFAs, I did a test for this in FIFA 18 or 19, something like that, okay? And I made this video back in the day too, okay? Where I streamed for 10 hours, never lost a game, okay? I streamed for 10 hours. It was older FIFAs, I think it might have been 16, okay? Never lost a game, but I didn't enjoy a single game I played, right? Then, when I got off the game, this is what happened, okay? I went into kickoff, before I left the stream, I went into kickoff, and I was testing to see if the players felt just as bad in the kickoff, right? And I remember this to this day, okay? I wanted to see if they were just as bad in the kickoff, and they were. So I'm like, okay, guys, we're gonna end the stream there, we're done, right? I went upstairs, got something to eat, came back downstairs. I forgot I was still in the same kickoff game. Do you guys know what happened? Do you guys know what happened? Call me crazy as much as you want. I'm the only person that talks about this because this is insane to me, okay? Tell me how I went back into that same game, resume match. I didn't leave nothing. Resume match. All of a sudden I can play properly. It was fast, responsive, and everything was great. Do you know what the test was back in the day for those FIFAs? It was a certain thing that I used to teach people, okay? It was the driven pass, L trigger, touch immediately, okay? Those three things. If you did those three things and they came off smoothly and you didn't feel a one-to-one control restriction when you were doing it, your gameplay was good. And you could even notice it because the game speed was better. So that was kickoff. I remember because I'm pretty sure I was using Barcelona with Dani Alves in the team. You guys can probably check the video. So it's not just a server thing. I'm talking, and maybe the servers influences the kickoff. I don't know. But this issue, I'm telling you, I don't even think they'll be able to find because it's such an advanced issue for it to affect the kickoff experience of the game. People forget that it affects the kickoff too, man. Okay? So it's not just like, hey guys, upgrade your servers like the whole community says. No, I'm telling you guys, that's not the only issue, man. They can go buy billion-dollar servers, the same thing will happen. There's something messed up in this game's code for this stuff to happen.
Servers, they need to add more, like invest more money into like volume. I don't know what you would call it, expectation.
The volume stuff is still real though, because there's times where like you could just tell there's too much. Even in the menus, you can tell there's too much going on.
Or like traffic control. Like I don't know if it takes hiring traffic, control people IRL to do this, man. But it's crazy. Around content time, the servers are toast. It's so hard to play this game. With no delay.
Did he not just say like before content and after? I guess like he's talking like hours before, like maybe like 3 or 4, because he does start his streams earlier.
Around that time is brutal, man. For like 4-hour stretch.
That's what I was about to say.
Middle of the day, and I'm in Eastern time. From like 11:30 Eastern time to like 4 p.m. Eastern time, it's terrible to gameplay. It's so bad. So
thank you. That's what I was saying earlier. I was so confused. I was like, what is he talking about?
I would like to see EA try to figure that out because it was not this bad last year around that time, and it's gotten worse. Other than that, though, I think it's been okay. So that's going to lead me to my next problem. Not problem, but really concern and things we're talking about. I've checked off a couple of things I want to speak about today. Okay, my next problem is the game modes in this game. So I think FIFA is a very hard game to stream. I still stream it a lot.
It is a hard game to stream. I've literally sent him a message saying this game doesn't make sense for me to stream. 100%. I said this message to him.
A great community. I love what I do. I think for the general person, FIFA is a very hard game to stream, and I'm going to explain why. Okay,
let's see what he says.
Foot draft has not been changed in 8 years now. They have not changed this mode in 8 years. Now you still have to pay to play this game mode. Now I'm sure it makes EA
thank you
a lot of money. You've got to pay $3 or 15,000 coins. And so here's where I run into the issue with this mode, okay? There's 2 solutions EA can do here. They have to find a way, all right, to make this mode either less coins to enter, okay? And hear me out, because here's the issue. The rewards are not good enough. When you win the foot draft, it's not good enough. Earlier, I spent 15K and I got a 50K pack. That's not necessarily going to make me profit. So the problem with this mode is that when you still spend money or coins and you win it, you still are not guaranteed to make coins back. So you've got 2 solutions. EA's got 2 solutions going forward. Number 1, they can just make it 10,000 coins or like $1.50, or, and don't change the rewards, or leave the price, make the rewards better. They have to make the rewards better, in my opinion, guys. It's just not worth it to really grind draft unless you win like 5 to 10 in a row, because over that span, you're probably going to make profit off the packs you get back because you'll get, the volume, but that's very challenging to do. So first issue with some of the game modes is foot draft. I think they've got to revamp this somehow. They've got to add some sort of twist, some sort of variable. Even in COD, you've got these different game modes. I don't see why EA can't update throughout the week with game modes, right? Adding some different game modes in here where there's some variables in draft. Maybe one day of the week, there's some preset variable with the team building. I don't know what it is, but they can get creative with that. And I think there could be, some real I don't know, added value there. I really see it like that. Okay, so that's the first issue. So draft is sweaty in a way at times, but it's also kind of a casual mode. Now, you do have to pay to play it, but it's a little bit more of that open matchmaking that you're looking for.
Yes.
Friendlies, the issue is that, you've got these objectives that you can grind, and I think EA over the years have really improved at that. I think they've done really well. I think in the past it's not been like as it should have been. I think EA's done really well. They've been doing some first owner cups. You can see I've played 36 games this year in objectives. So I think EA have done a very good job. They're giving silvers for people. You've got a managerial masterpiece. You've got a lot of stuff here, right, that you can go ahead and grind. They've got that silver cup. I think, even still now for the silver cup, I still think that there's you know,
It's funny because this is like an hour difference between our videos, but I say the same thing, that those modes are sick. The ones after that, oh my god.
objectives for that. If you want to go in that, I think they still have rewards. I finished them, but I think there's actually still another. I think they've like kind of. I think they're resetting that all the
See, this is what I mean. He doesn't even have the cards. You see what I'm saying?
time. I could be wrong. Maybe because I did it. Oh no, so they're not. So I got ahead of myself. EA should be resetting this. They're not, but they should be. So once people complete it, once it refreshes, that people can continue to do
Refresh would be sick. It would be. I don't know if they'd ever have that though, but refresh would be nice.
it. I think they should be doing that. So my issue with game modes, right? Other than that, you've got squad battles, which is an offline mode. I'm not going to talk about that mode because I don't have experience, and I know that people do like that mode. They did add moments this year, which is another offline mode. Here is my problem. There's two issues I have. Number one, this is the only game that you really can't play with your friends. Now, you can play co-op in Rivals, which is hell. And that's why EA has to add a tournament mode. They've got to add a
That's all I'm going to say.
tournament mode, which is like 4 games or 5 games or something. Maybe it's a World Cup mode style where...
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's like gunfight on...
You guys, I even in the rant video that I did the other day, right? Go watch the older videos. I've literally said this World Cup mode is the best mode we've ever had in FIFA. Add this in FIFA, you fix a large majority of your problems. Because those squad foundations would be sick to do it in a mode like that. It doesn't have to be styled like the Champions League or like the World Cup. You know, I was excited this year. I'm like, oh, you know what? I might actually stream this year. Because I thought, I thought World Cup content. No, they're not adding the tournament mode to Ultimate Team. Oh.
Where everybody enters in as a team and you've got a couple rounds and then I don't know, right? They got to do something with that so that you can do a single player like mode where you can go in yourself and play in the tournament mode, kind of like a foot draft where it's 4 games, but you don't have to pay to play it. Maybe it's got requirements for the week, and then they can also add in co-op so you can get that little bit of casual feel where you can play with a friend.
Yeah, play with co-op, but mostly online. It needs to have an online mode.
Right? They also, in my opinion, right? The problem is, right now, you've got foot draft that you can pay to play. You've got 2 offline modes, which no one wants to play if you want to play online. You want to play something else. And then you've got Division Rivals, which is just a sweat fest. And I'm saying this, I know I'm in Elite Division, but if you're watching this video and you're in Div 4, it's probably just as sweaty for you because that's your level of play. So for everybody, Rivals is just sweaty. Do I think this is a good mode? Absolutely.
Thank you.
It has to be balanced with something else. That's the
You see?
problem. There's not really a balance right now. It's a great mode. The objective of the rank up is great.
It's so funny how me and him had the same idea of doing this video. Because like I said, I have don't recommend channel on all FIFA content creators. And we posted the same type of video the same day.
I love how this mode is preset. I said this last year. There needs to be one other mode to go with it so that there's a balance. Because right now, your head is just, you're going crazy because you're just playing Rivals. Now,
I've said this for years. I've made a video about the gameplay game modes ever since Foot Champs came out. FIFA 17, right? No, maybe not FIFA 17 because I think they still had divisions back then. Maybe FIFA 18, I've made a video every single year talking about it. Yeah, I think it's FIFA 18. I could be wrong.
Champs is good. I like it. It's 10 and 20. That's why I'm saying there's got to be some sort of tournament mode. Maybe they added in the friendlies with the rewards being an objectives and then constantly refreshing. It doesn't look like it's got to be something that's that complex to do.
It's not.
Here is where I'm kind of alluding to and heading to my next point. This is the only game you can't play with your friends like in a way that makes sense or that a lot of people do, right? And you could say, oh, you could play co-op in Rivals, right? No one streams it. No one creates the content out of it. No one does it because nobody does that. It's too hard to do. So what I think EA has to do, and I've been saying this for years, I think EA in the week needs to add a mode that you can play a Foot Champions. Maybe it's 10 games or 15 games and it's co-op. They've got to do this. I think it would be awesome. I think it would blow FIFA out of the water with views. I think it would make FIFA so popular because it would just add another aspect of, oh, there's value to...
Also, co-op is more skilled than like by yourself because there's so many AI variables, but with the by yourself stuff, like honestly, like if you really look at competitive FIFA, right, it'd probably be like 5v5, like, like half the field 5v5, like that would probably be like the best bet. But I don't know. Stuff like that is, I don't know.
The game with a friend. Oh, you've got to watch teamwork. You've got to watch two players playing. I think they have to do this. I think this is the game-changing thing going forward that EA's got to put into the game. They got to do something with 2v2, maybe it's 3v3, and they got to make it a separate mode. Foot Champs separate mode for co-op. Maybe it's Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday. Rivals, right? Separate mode, right? Maybe one day you want to go on and you want to grind Rivals in a separate mode that's co-op. And then you've also got that tournament mode that I mentioned, right? Where you can do single player, which online, single player or online multiplayer. If they could add those,
It's hilarious how we had the same idea.
three things with that, this game would be game changing. I'm telling you, this game would be so much more fun and give so much more value to go ahead and play with, a friend. So I think I have a bit of an issue with the game modes right now, with the way that game modes are kind of preset. I think they could really improve with the way that the game modes are. One of the last things that I'll speak about, I just want to talk about this. The Milestone players. Now, EA, compared to the previous years,
I'm very curious to see if he says the same thing as me.
we used to get like one of these players every 3 or 4 weeks. I'm serious. If you guys played FIFA in the past, we used to almost never get these players. It was so rare. So EA have been doing a good job with bulk, like dropping the content, and it's really not that hard to get a lot of these players. Score 4 goals using players with a minimum 4-star weak foot. Assist 4 goals using players from Denmark. Score 12 goals in the live foot friendly managerial masterpiece, right? And they're not horrendous cards, but here's my take. I understand they're free cards. I get it. You still have to win 8 matches, right? With this unlocked card in your lineup. So a lot of these Milestone players come out to be like 2 or 3 hours of grinding. And when you think about it, like that's sometimes people's Foot Champs qualifiers. That's sometimes half a week in league, and people are getting way more rewarded for that. I just want to see EA going forward. I spoke about this in a video the other day. I just want to see EA put a little bit more emphasis on upgrading these cards or giving them more unique value. Now, I know they have
100%. 100%. Because they're very generic. Like, dude, I grinded Nuno Santos. I lost 4 squad. I keep saying this to people because this is how annoying it was to do, okay? I lost 4 squad battle games from falling asleep and having my PlayStation go to sleep from getting it. And then I finally got the card, and he's just not unique in game. Here's the thing, guys, right? Nuno Santos doesn't feel unique, but Bernardo Silva and Diogo Jota do feel unique in their own ways. Do you see what the problem is? For a card like Nuno Santos, he should, like, it's a card you're grinding for. Those cards are so cheap on the transfer market, but they just feel generic in game, These cards, I'm not sure. I don't know if Duncan and stuff are good because they look like they could be decent. But I'm telling you from experience from Nuno Santos, like the card's so generic, man. Manafa, he's decent. He's obviously he's not gonna be like Kyle Walker and stuff, but they could improve the cards a little bit more for sure. Absolutely.
massive upgrades probably on the gold, but making them
Especially since your game modes only revolve around competitive FIFA. Yeah, for sure.
comparable with some of the meta goals that we have on the market. I think it would
Yeah, meta golds. Do you see what he's saying?
be game changing, and I also just think they're generally harder to link. So I have been loving EA's like real effort here to give us a lot of Milestone players, but I just want to see EA do a lot more. I think they should do more with it.
I can't wait for the Portuguese ones. They're probably gonna be generic too, but
then just segueing back to my point about 2v2, like this that they added is great, but a lot of them are loans and untradables. So I would like to
so casual, like in any foot game mode. You know what I'm saying? You can get loan Yaya Toure. So casual. It's like, yo, I need to get like baby cousins to go on my account and play co-op with each other. I need to get like baby cousins. Hey guys, you guys want to come over? Come play co-op for my friend. Come, squad battles. Go ahead.
see EA make some of these rewards. It doesn't have to be these crazy
Oh my god, loan Yaya Toure. I had no idea they did that for co-op.
cards that are loans. Maybe they're like special cards, right? Like Milestone players that you can unlock by playing co-op. I just think that would add more value. And then maybe it's like an ultimate pack if you play 40 or 50 games. Just more stuff like that. I think right now, for the first time on FIFA,
Jairzinho is there too. Oh my god.
I can actually say that EA are thinking in the right direction with a lot of these objectives. I just think they need to be a little bit less hesitant to give better rewards, because I think at the end of the day, if you're doing objectives and you're really grinding out this game, you deserve to be rewarded, right? We talked about this with Squad Foundations. One of the last things I'll mention is that
these cards are horrible. I don't know what they were thinking on this. I already know he's gonna say it. I don't know what happened to these things. I don't know why they made them so terrible. I actually don't understand what their thought process was for this. And I always see people in flipping comments are like, oh, but it's a card that you would probably, these cards are not usable. I didn't even get the French Portuguese league player NickRTFM at level 15 because he's not usable. I've never even seen him used one time. But you know how nice it would have been to get a usable version of that card with a French center back from the Liga NOS. And I know people are going to come in my comment section, oh, but he's great, you know, he's great. No, man, I don't even see him being used once, man. You know what we used to get for storylines, bro? If they did the same thing, nowadays it'd be sick. But we got like, in level 30, you got like Belotti and Fred. There was sometimes level 15 cards that were sick. They don't do it anymore, man.
I think, you know, and I don't want to go out with a negative to this video, but
no. You do have to go out with a negative to this video because these cards just horrible, man.
Season rewards are unacceptable, right? We've had this season thing in FIFA, I think, for like 2 or 3 years now. It's been horrendous, right? EA have not gone out of their way to get rid of a lot of these tifos and badges. Now, I understand that some people like to collect these, but I just think EA has to do better when it comes to these. We've had the same players, the same the same sort of packs, the same unlocks, the same outdated players. So a couple issues here for me. Players in here are just outdated, right? Like by the time the first day the season comes out, people don't care about the players already.
The first day, dude. The first day, man.
The players need to be so crazy when they come out that they're relevant to
imagine this card with the links to Higuain.
Get at the end of the season. So that's the first issue. The second issue is that, you know, if you're playing this game that much, you get level 28 and 29, you should not be getting a meditation VIP freaking area and a Feathers Touch stadium theme. Like, these need to be 100K, 50K packs. They need to be more players, unique packs. Like, I think level 27 is awesome, right? You get a League One Prime Players pack, a Serie A, or a Premier League. Like, these are really cool, right? You don't get to see these packs all the time. Maybe for these, it's like an 85+ attacker. It doesn't have to be that crazy, but it should be something worthwhile that people really want to go ahead and get. It's cool if EA wants to do badges and tifos. I get it. But if you look at level 21 to 30, the fact that that part of the season, 6 of the unlocks are badges or tifos or VIP areas, it's like, come on, man. You know, you're not going to spend that much time customizing your stadium. So I think EA's got to do a bit better there. But overall, guys, the experience on FIFA 23 has not been bad, man. It's not been a bad game so far. I mean, for what FIFA's
better than the last 6 years, I'll tell you that much.
Worth, right? I think a lot of the time in the past, like, you expect so much out of EA, and like that's too much, right? You can't expect a lot out of them. For what EA is as a company and for really what they've been, you know, kind of doing over the years, it's not been a horrible year.
From the content, guys, the gameplay, guys, I'm on them, bro. I'm on them. That inconsistent gameplay, I'm on them. I have no forgiveness in my heart when it comes to that.
I'm just making this video because I still think there's improvements that EA could make, and I'd like to see them do better. So I'm always just trying to point out when I feel like EA can do better, and I think there's areas where they definitely can. So just trying to point those out to the best of my ability. Thanks for watching the video today, guys.
Good video, Nick. It's funny how you and I thought about the same like type of video for the time period. The gameplay game modes, man. That's funny. That's funny. All right, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.